Hi, welcome back to this series of video for the conversion of Elvira and the Party Monster table from Future Pinball to United Pinball. In this video we are gonna rework here the area where there is the skull. In the current version it's only a texture on a surface, so we will replace it by a 3D model, and so this will illustrate the chain to go from an OBJ to the to United Pinball. So I made a speed sculpt of the skull using ZBrush. You can click on the link if you want to see the speed sculpt. It's a dirty one, as you can see here. But it was just to illustrate and to be quick. At some point I will do it again, so I have an OBJ exported from that, low polygons, and I have a texture. As you can see, it's not optimized at all. We lost all this space, but this is just for the tutorial purpose. So actually Future Pinball uses FPT object as model and FPM as Future Pinball models, and you can import new from here. Alright, so you will need a specific editor for FPM, and it's called FPM Editor. You can click on the link here to go download it. So let's create a new object, and here is the interface of FPM Editor, and we will enter the model name Elvira. Actually it's in Elvira, so only skull, and you have to select the model type. So the model type. So for this one we will do an ornament, as when it's imported in United Pinball there is no collider, and we won't need collider for this one, and this will prevent from problems. So as you can see, the things to do is to import the main model, and the main model is the MS3D model. So it's not actually the OBJ. You can't import OBJ, and we will have to convert it. So to convert it, you can use either Milkshape, because MS3D is the Milkshape file extension name, or you can use a free software called Misfit, and this is what I linked to OBJ opening. So it's Misfit Model 3D. You can click on the link here to download it, and you just have to save as and select MS3D. So let's write MS3D for the 3D model, and it's done. Alright, so right now we have an MS3D object for this one, and we will open it inside FPM Editor. And okay, so it's now here on the board. You can display it in the wireframe. So as you can see, there is not too much triangles here, only above 500 faces. It can be optimized too again, but let's keep it like that. You can draw a ball behind next to it to check the size of it, and here you can select the material. It is a plastic one, but we won't need it because it's almost only used for the collision detection, and as we don't want to make a collision on this object, there is no need for that. So right now you can save as, and save it as skull.fpm or Elvira skull. Right. Okay. So right now it's saved, and let's go into Elvira and the Party Monster in Future Pinball. Go into Table, Model Manager, and import the just created model. Okay, so now it should be on the skull, as it's the name we entered it. Pay attention, it's the name we entered it, not the name of the file name. So okay, and we will also need to replace this texture as we won't use it anymore. So let's remove it from the surface and let's import a new one. So go into texture manager, remove the texture, it was called Skull 2, as you can see here, delete it just to clean resources, no need to use it if it's not used by any element in the table, and import the one for the 3D model. Let's click OK, and now let's create our object. So under object, click ornament, as we did an ornament for this one, and now the skull should be in the list of the ornaments. It's okay. So now we can place it, and you can rotate it a bit, maybe a little bit more. Pay attention though that you will rotate it only on the vertical axis, and you cannot tilt it in the other. So when you are preparing your 3D model, take it into account. So let's place it approximately right here, and let's hit F5 to try it under Future Pinball, just to check if it's going okay. Okay, hit F11 to use the free cam, and we move, and it's quite good. We have collisions here. We can maybe move it a little bit forward, and we will check it with the texture. So let's move it here. Alright. And add the texture. Don't spend too much time in trying to set the position into Future Pinball, because we will displace it, move it under United Pinball to its final location. But it's good to have a nice starting position to before launching United Pinball. Okay, so it seemed alright. Let's move it a bit forward again, and okay, let's keep it like that. So now we will have to rework the surface underneath, because it's not suitable anymore, and moreover, as we can see here, it's not optimized at all. So for example, all those points there are hidden by the left panel of the pinball machine box. So let's just remove all of them. So we will hide things up, yeah, and just simply select all of them, and destroy it. Okay. And also, as I said in an earlier video, try to keep smooth points only when it's needed. Here it's not needed because it's a flat side, and it's not necessary to keep it. And we can simplify quite a lot this surface. Oops, sorry, not too much though. Okay, also we don't need so much right around here, so let's simplify things up. So maybe it's not quite exactly the same as the real table, this is up to you. You can change it a little bit and just to make it fit with your model, your 3D model. Actually, it really depends on the table. It's really specific to each table. All right, that seems correct. So let's save it. Oh, it's not nice here. Also, the less points you use and the smoother the result will be, and that's important for the final result of the table. Okay, so let's save it. Remember to add the modification into the changelog. So we worked scale surface and imported new scale mode. Okay. And let's try it under United Pinball. Okay, I had to move, so I had to split the video in two parts, but never mind. So let's zoom on the skull. It has been imported, and let's use the Table Explorer to put it in place. So once the Table Explorer window is open, you can click the different parts of the pinball, and let's click the skull, and we can edit it using a gizmo. So let's translate it to drop it down to the surface, just above the surface. Okay. And we will also move the two bulbs that were just sitting over the surface. So let's click the surface. It was surface 27 if I remember it. Yes. And under it you have bulbs here. So let's open it and select bulbs and move it to. So let's first translate it. Okay. Just above. Okay. And if you click on rotate, you can turn it to be horizontal. And right. So let's do it for the other one. Translate. Okay, and rotate. There is no alignment option right now. Maybe there will be in the future, but the Table Explorer is quite in really developing mode right now, developing state. So it's not really okay. Let's adjust it a little bit. Translation. Because it's not rotated enough. Translate. Okay, so it seems correct. Let's reopen the table editor, click back on some translation and save the modified transforms. So if you remember, when we moved the two boogeymen, it was wrote in an XML, a modified trafo.xml file, and it happens the transformation we did. So this is for the skull and this is for the two bulbs. These were for the boogeyman. So you can also edit right in here and reload the table if you want. So now let's launch a game just to see how light is interacting and if it's working, because it was still to be verified. So I have to put some money in it. Let's start again and send the ball into the ball lock using the debug shot feature. So both are just blinking. It's okay. Let's send another one for both to be blinking together, and it's working. So now if I zoom on it, you can see that light is interacting with it. And let's just edit some rendering material properties for it. Just a quick overview of the material edition inside the Table Explorer. We'll go more in detail in a future video. And let's just so click again on the skull, and if you go under ornament, you have a material, and now you have the material panel to edit the material. So you can edit the color for to tint the the texture. Let's keep it by default. You also can change the transparency of it using alpha, but this one is opaque. Let's change the specular color. So you have the specular color using RGB, and the intensity of it is drove by the alpha part here. So let's pump it up, and the shininess here can be used to put it more shiny, more metallic, or more soft. So it seems correct. If I move around, let's close it up, and okay, we have a nice effect. And go back inside the Table Explorer and on the material, and if you look down here, well, we'll see the reflection texture. It's for more advanced reflection parameters, but we'll see later. You have the backlighting, and this is an important one. Actually, there is no shadow casting in United Pinball right now for performance issues, and so we have to fake using backlighting the subsurface scattering. And so if you put 0, there is no subsurface scattering at all. That's important for a metal part, for example, but if you want to pump it up, you can use 1, and so the light is just like it was coming from the front part of the surface. And for this one, let's say that 1.21 or 1.50, it seems quite correct. So let's save it, material. If we go back into the directory of the table, it created a modified material.xml. If we open it, we will see that there is a different material here, but it's better to edit using the editor to not make some mistakes. And you also can copy different materials to copy to other one. And so now let's see how it's working under different lighting conditions. Let's open the table option and lower the ambient light for a darker one. I'm particularly fond of those one. It pump up the lights, and let's also can change the main color to a creepy purple one, for example. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the future one, we will probably look at the last functional part missing for the spinball, and it's the two flip up targets. Maybe there will be multiple videos for that, because it's more difficult than it seems at the first sight. So thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye.